Hollow Earth General. I am a Hollow Earth nood and I am looking for the best resources, videos, books, documents, memes, etc. on the subject. Bottom right is literally a grey circle on top of a pic of Antarctica. There are better pics up. Why did you have to be such a Susan? Look into Admiral Byrd, his journal, and the interview he gave in the Chilean newspaper El Mercurio in 1947 are what originally got me into this insane idea. Was Byrd just a schizophrenic? Admiral Richard E. Byrd warned today that the United States should adopt measures of protection against the possibility of an invasion of the country by hostile planes coming from the polar regions. The Admiral explained that he was not trying to scare anyone, but the cruel reality is that in case of a new war, the United States could be attacked by planes flying over one or both poles. There's also the mysterious death of his son in 1968, who was found emaciated in a warehouse and apparently died from malnutrition and dehydration. Did he know something too? Mr. Byrd left Boston on Sept. 13 to attend a ceremony at the Washington headquarters of the National Geographic Society. He idolized his father. The main focus of his life was to continue what my father had started, to help people who wanted information about him. Single quote, single quote, single quote, single quote. Also, seismologists have found mountain ranges 410 miles below the Earth's surface. Could some beings inhabit these caverns? I've also seen some anons talk about millions of Germans going missing at the end of World War II, and how the Nazis established bases in Antarctica. That theory implies the Third Reich had UFO technology, which is a whole nother rabbit hole I haven't gone down yet. But I am sure there's more to Antarctica than we've been told, and that's why the flat Earth theory has been pushed so hard. Hit me with some YouTube I can binge. Apollonius read that the Argonauts sighted Hyperborea when they sailed through Eridanos. Check out William Reed's The Phantom of the Poles, which was a huge influence on perception of the Hollow Earth theory after earlier theorists like John Cleve Sims. It's in the public domain. That same site also has the works of Richard Sharpe Shaver, who was genuinely crazy, but whose claims of visiting Lemuria were widely believed during his lifetime and even today by some. If you hear and he encounter that smacks too much of his writings, it's probably made up. Ernst Zundel's UFOs, Nazi secret weapons is also a good overview, even if he was a Nazi and his theories don't hold up. It's still essential reading given how much the connection comes up later. Related, expanding Earth. The plasma core in a sun reacts with cosmic rays to form new matter from within, or so the theory goes. Hollow Earth doesn't work on basic physics level. If the gravity is supplied by the shell, it would have to be absurdly dense. And it would still only work on the outside, as inside gravity from shell equals 0. If the shell was not a primary source of gravity and instead internal sun was, it would suck up everything inside. Another thing, that there is no way of cooling air inside. Surface atmosphere cools, because at any time only half of it is facing sun. Internal sun would heat up entire internal surface without ability to cool it off. Even if somehow air circulation between inside and outside was sufficient, you would not have ice at those entry points. It's not hollow like a tennis ball. It's hollow in the sense it's honeycombed with large caverns and maybe a crystal center. If gases are generated under the Earth, it can hollow out large caverns during millions of years, not to mention water or lava. Based on experiments with levitating frogs, it takes 16 Teslas to create force equal to Earth gravity. That paper doesn't state mass of that specific frog or what species was used, but based of quick search, most frogs weigh roughly 20 grams on average. assuming that it scales linearly, which it probably doesn't, because humans have different composition than frogs. It would take 4,000 times more, or 64 kT, to have same effect on 80 kilograms human. And this is assuming there is no gravity inside, because all mass is in the shell and internal sun, which is problematic on its own, but it's beside the point, has negligible mass. If internal sun is primary source of gravity, then you would have to scale it to over 128 kT. Specific value would depend on thickness of shell, since thicker shell would put objects inside closer to sun, which would in turn generate more gravity than on external surface. Given that MI don't go over 12 T, such a powerful field probably wouldn't be safe for long-term exposure. Be open-minded. Let other theories in. The Earth is flat. All other theories are bull Susan. How does this work for open-minded person? Hollow Earth is disinfo, to direct focus away from flat Earth, which every past civilization has observed. Newton was an occultist and Einstein a crackpot. Tesla is where it's at. Einstein's relativity work is a magnificent mathematical garb which fascinates, dazzles, and makes people blind to the underlying errors. The theory is like a beggar clothed in purple whom ignorant people take for a king. Its exponents brilliant men, but they're metaphysicists rather than scientists. Nikola Tesla. I used to have this first edition, apparently it's pretty rare. I kick myself for giving it away. Sky actually changes over long periods of time. Polaris wasn't always a North Star, but those distances are so large that even at such high speeds change is very slow. Wikipedia. They sure do, buddy. It's not the best, but it's good for using cited sources that you can evaluate to see if they're not citing from a McDonald's employee handbook or League of Legends EULA contract. YouTube is corrupted. You won't find any of this information there, and if you do, then it will probably be also mixed with tons of bull. Make the whole thing seem absurd and easily discreditable. Well, I am Chilean and read the newspaper just now. Turns out the original claim, which is in the newspaper, says that in the event of a war, America will be attacked by planes that can fly over one or both poles. Further mistranslations of this interview changed this to flying objects that could travel from one pole to another at an amazing speed. Several people used this mistranslation to write books and fake biographies about non-existent claims, forging this hollow Earth story and other stories about secret Nazi UFOs in Antarctica. Main culprits are Amedeo Giannini and Ray Palmer, creators of the hollow Earth theory. Byrd never said anything about going inside the Earth. Thank you. Kinda proud of myself actually, since I'm so obviously spot on. Please feel free to stop by 4chan anytime you like, and we'll be sure to accommodate you in an identical manner again and again.